1995. And I'm on Pleasant Street visiting with Mrs. Florence Hebert. How are you doing today?
Ça va bien aujourd'hui? Ça va bien? Ça va bien?
Doing well?
Oh, yes.
Doing well. Because you're going to have to translate it because nobody,
Okay.
Okay. Did you just have a birthday?
Tu viens d'avoir une fête? Elle te demande si tu viens d'avoir une fête. T'as eu une fête? C'est joli site.
Ça a été votre fête cette semaine? Votre fête?
Oui.
Was her birthday this week.
It was her birthday. Could I possibly ask how old she was?
Quel âge que vous avez?
97.
You were 97.
97.
Well, you look wonderful. You do. You look so wonderful. Now, I'm just...
J'avais.
Do it.
Well, I have never seen this famous Boston Post cane before in my life, and just look at how beautiful that is.
C'est la première fois qu'elle voit la canne. C'est la première fois qu'elle voit la canne.
Ouais.
Isn't it beautiful? Don't you love it?
Mais je fasse pas.
Non, mais elle est belle, hein?
Ouais.
Elle est belle. She doesn't use it.
No, oh, no, I wouldn't use that. No. It's too pretty. Isn't it pretty? Well, that is, I'm awful happy. I came over just to see the cane, but I really came to talk to you. So, where were you born, Mrs. Hebert, I wonder?
Où que vous êtes venu au monde? Quelle place que vous êtes venu au monde?
Oui, au Canada.
À quelle place?
À Dixville.
Dixville, Canada, right.
En quelle année?
Ah ben là, l'année, je m'en rappelle pas.
The year.
Ben, j'ai 97.
She's 97.
So I guess we can figure that out. Yeah, right.
I can't remember.
But up in Dixville. Was Mr. Hebert born there as well?
Monsieur Hébert, il était à Dixville aussi?
Oui, oui, mon voisin.
They were neighbors.
They were neighbors.
They were neighbors.
Yes.
I see.
Il restait à notre voisin, on restait à voisin. On a été élevés ensemble.
They were brought up together.
On a l'école
Go to school
ensemble.
together.
She and Mr. Hebert, yes,
Yes.
grew up.
Grew up together and
I
went to
guess
school together.
we have to say childhood sweethearts or something like that, I think.
Les années quoi s'est passé.
She remembered every single year that went by
Well,
with him.
that is some wonderful.
Yeah.
And I bet they were fine years, too. When did you move down to Colebrook?
Quand vous avez mouvé à Colebrook,
Oui.
en quelle année, vous le savez pas?
Non, je me souviens pas, mais j'ai mauvais à Colebrook.
She had Isabel.
Quand t'es descendu ici aux États, avais-tu Isabelle?
Isabelle est venue au monde à Quaticook.
Oui, Quaticook.
La même année qu'elle a mouvé.
La même année que vous êtes...
Okay. So
They moved to the States the same year that Isabel was born. She was born in Canada.
I see. And she is
And
the...
Isabel is 70... Let's see.
one.
She's 71.
She's 71.
She'll be 72 in October.
She's...
Elle avait un mois quand on l'a arrivé ici à
She was a month when
When they
moved
came
to
down.
Colebrook.
Is...
Quand elle est venue au monde, elle est venue au monde à Dixville, à Quaticook.
Isabel was born in Quaticook, and she was a month when they moved here.
Elle n'a pas été longtemps, un mois. Elle avait un mois quand
She was a month
a month.
when
Ouais.
they moved here.
Mais Nous autres, on était ici. Mon mari, il voyageait.
Her
Mais,
husband was traveling to Dixville.
Travaillait
Yeah.
ici.
Oh, Mr. Hebert was like a salesman,
Où
perhaps.
c'est qu'il
No.
travaillait? Où c'est qu'il travaillait, papa?
Pour Stephen.
He was working for
Le
Mr.
vieux
Stephen
Stephen, hein,
that
vieux
had a plumbing
Stephen.
business.
Here in Colebrook?
Mhm.
Ouais.
Oh.
Mr.
Yeah.
Stephen?
Yes,
And
Stevens.
he'd come down and work
Je me
and go
souviens
back,
pas de ça, pas bien,
get
non.
back and forth for a while.
Son garçon s'appelait Saul.
That
Saul
Mr. Stephen
Stephen.
had a son, Saul Stephen?
Yes, and you know who we're
Stevens.
talking about. Is Stell Boyle?
Yes,
Father.
really?
Yeah, that's her
That's
father.
right.
Yes,
Stell
she was
Boyle,
a
my neighbor.
Stevens. Yes,
She was my neighbor when
Yes.
I
Yes.
was...
Yes.
Yeah.
I do want to interrupt here. Oriette Dupy is here helping me, and I think we'll be able to pick out her voice as well as Mrs. Hebert's daughter, Muriel Lewis. And I'm sure we'll be able to figure out which voice is which voice, but I will call you by name a little bit if I can think of it. So Mr. Hebert was a commuter before people commuted.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he would come down and work.
Mhm.
Well, then, how did he happen to come move you right down to Colebrook? How did he do that?
Y avait-tu sa shop? Quand vous êtes mouvé ici aux États?
Il travaillait pour Stephen.
Oui, puis après ça?
Après ça, il a perdu shop. Pas trop longtemps après ça. Je me souviens pas dans quelle année, mais...
Pas la shop ici? Cette shop-là?
Ben,
I don't know.
quand on a mouvé, c'est lui qui avait bâti sa shop.
She doesn't quite remember.
Yeah, well, that doesn't.
Avant ça,
Wasn't the shop in this house
Ouais.
right here?
No.
Oh, where
on
was?
restait à ta maison.
They were living
Ouais.
in the house that I'm living in now.
Oh, where you live,
Where you say
Mariel?
Didn't they live in Lucille's,
Oh, they lived
over Corrivo's garage? The
when
rent
they first
over
arrived.
Corrivo,
Mhm.
Well, on Colby Street, you
on
mean?
Colby Street?
Yes.
Simone Corrivo's garage upstairs?
Yes.
That's where she moved.
When
the
they first
rent.
came, you
There's,
and
there's also another place over on what do you call the street next to the old academy?
Next to the
You
old-
know what you
what, Lombard?
No.
No, that's not Lombard. That's where you used to live.
You know where Lombard Hill? Do they still call it Lombard Hill?
Uh,
The road that you take
Park
to go
Street?
up to Parker Hicks's.
Oh,
You know, the one that goes up over the hill. The last house.
Titus Hill
Titus.
Road?
Yes.
Titus Hill
The
Road.
last house on the right hand side, just before you go up the hill.
Yes.
that old
They
house.
had lived there too for a short while.
But when they came down from Canada, it was just Mr. and Mrs. Hebert and little Isabel.
Mhm.
And then they came down here.
Mhm.
And then I don't know the order of you people, but I mean,
Isabel's the oldest, and Danny is
and then Danny comes, and then
than me.
you're Muriel, who's here with us, and then Rachel,
Rachel is the youngest.
and she's the baby. Okay, I've got that. So they can't. Did he go to work for Mr. Stevens, or did he go right into business for himself?
Quand il a travaillé pour M. Stevens, après ça, il a-tu pâti sa
Yeah,
shop?
oui.
Il n'avait pas travaillé à Berlin, me semble, à Niscus?
Pour qui?
À Berlin?
Ah, ça, c'est avant, je m'allais.
Ah oui. I could remember her talking about my
Ah,
father
quand
and
il
my
avait
uncle
encore.
working in
Ah,
Berlin.
quand il s'est marié,
at one
quand il s'est
time.
marié, il
But she said that
travaillait
was before
là.
they got married.
Oh, I see.
That was before.
Well, did your uncle come down when they came down?
Well,
From-
You mean Henry?
Yes.
No, it wasn't Henry that was traveling. It was one of his other. They came from a large family. I think there were 10 in my father's family.
Well, so then when they got down here to Colebrook, where
But most all the children migrated to the States.
they all eventually, more or less,
more or less
got down here.
Mm.
Well, where
Quite a few of
did
them.
he work for Stevens, or did he go right into work for himself?
No,
or-
he worked for Stevens.
He worked for
and
Stevens.
then she recollects that he started his
Own
own
shop.
business,
Yes.
his own shop, shortly
And,
after.
and where would that be located?
Well, I think it's the shop that Danny has now.
Yeah,
It's
but
right-
it wasn't it in Dak, an old building in Dak, then they built the new building?
That's
Um,
possible. I don't
yeah,
remember. He might have.
She
There were.
told me.
There was a John Girl's
Yeah.
blacksmith. There were buildings there.
Yes, that's right. There
At
was
one
that
time.
blacksmith there. Yeah.
That was between
Yeah.
the present shop and the old
And
Green
she
Hall.
told me that Ray Amel's grandfather
Yes, I remember that.
helped him build the shop where it is there.
And his name would have been Joe, I think.
Yeah,
Joe
Joe
Hamel.
Hamel,
And
I
he used to
remember
live.
him as a child.
Yeah, I do too. And he lived
Mm-hmm.
out at Wallace Pond.
He lived at Wallace Pond.
Yes.
He had snow white hair.
Yes, and he smoked a clay pipe.
Yeah. I think I associated him with Santa Claus or something.
Yeah, he was
had
kind
the-
of cute, wasn't
Yeah,
he? Yes, he
had
was.
Rosy
Yeah.
cheeks and snow white hair.
Yeah.
And he had this hand mustache.
Yeah.
That's a
Amel. Monsieur.
Diamond. Oh, oui.
Wait, she wants to know. See, she knows what's
Yeah,
happening.
but
Yeah, well, of course she wants to know.
That's it.
Il avait bâti la shop.
C'est lui qui avait bâti votre shop
Oui.
avec votre mari. Mr. Amel built their shop with Mr. Hebert.
Isn't that something? So then some of
I'll ask her where Danny was born. À quelle place que tu restais quand Daniel est venu au monde?
Mais quand tu es venu au monde,
Daniel?
Daniel.
Oui.
Daniel, quand tu es venu au monde. Ah, je sors d'achat. Je sors d'un shop, là.
En haut du garage, here.
De quelle place que c'est?
Oh, that's
En
the
haut
one she
du
said.
garage sur Corriveau.
Ouais.
he was born at home.
No, over the garage.
Over the garage.
Corriveau's. She told me that before.
Pretty likely at home. I
At
I think
home.
so.
At
I
home.
don't even know what we had
At home.
here for
all
a
the children
hospital.
were born
They are home.
back in those days were
Yeah, right.
home.
Le
deliveries.
docteur est venu au monde.
Quel docteur? Which doctor?
Docteur Norris.
Dr. Norris.
Very
She
good.
told me that.
Dr. Norris.
Yeah.
We've all heard of Dr.
Un
Norris.
vieil diable.
Oh,
What's that?
We won't translate
no,
No?
she didn't like him.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's fine. Well, that's well. Anyhow, so some of the
Which woman likes a doctor?
isn't that true? That's right, Ori. Yeah, that is so right. I was going
Il
to.
aimerait ça, puis il vient à la maison, puis il regarde partout dans mes choses, puis il disait, on voit que c'est une Canadienne.
Dr.
C'est
Norris
bien
used to go to her house and say, we see that it's a French lady. Everything is clean.
Is that
Used to look
right?
through all her things.
Is that right? Oh, that is a funny story. But you know, I think the French people have a reputation for being very, very tidy and clean. I've all, you know.
I think it's a half and half.
Me too.
There's some American that
I don't
are
want it,
extremely
isn't
clean.
Yeah, but I think. Well,
Most of, I don't think the Canadian are, that much cleaner. I see some American that Lucille Pike
oh yes.
and
There are a lot
Mrs.
of
Scott.
very,
And we could go on and on. They-
Well, you can't generalize anyway, can we? You know.
They do have that rep.
I think they do. Yeah. Well, some of the family came down then with you.
You're talking about my father's
Yes,
family?
or her sisters, or I mean, it must have been hard to come down here and leave.
Didn't she came down? Yvonne came down?
Ma tante Yvonne,
Oui.
est-ce qu'elle est descendue en même temps que vous autres?
Elle était bien petite. Ils vont descendre.
Oui, mais quand c'est qu'elle est descendue aux États? Il y en a-tu d'autres qui sont venus aux États en même temps
Ouais.
que toi et
Sure.
papa?
Lawrence.
Ouais.
Lawrence, brother.
Oui, ben lui, Alphonse, il restait pas ici.
Oui.
Elle sortait avec, la là. Ben l'a marié. Puis c'est venu rester par ici.
I think Yvonne she's not the youngest one. It's one of her
No.
younger sisters.
The one that passed away last fall
Aglo
was the youngest.
was the youngest.
Yeah.
But Yvonne came down as a young girl.
Yeah.
And would stay with my folks.
She was taking care of the kids with your mother.
Yes.
And she
And that's
met
when she met Alphonse
Morin,
which is Lawrence Morin.
Elle travaillait pour moi, elle. Quand j'avais mes enfants, elle était
was
fille,
working for
était
her
jeune.
when she had her children. And
Yes.
she met Alphonse Morin, which is Lawrence Morin's brother,
Yes, I
and she married him.
And they settled in Plymouth.
Oh, they didn't stay right here in
No,
Colebrook.
no.
But though you did have Colebrook relatives that eventually.
Henry.
Just Henry.
I think there's just Henry. Mon oncle Harry, quand c'est qu'il est venu aux États, lui?
Non, il venait du Canada, lui.
Oui,
tout.
mais
Il était bien plus jeune que nous autres.
quand c'est qu'il est arrivé ici aux États?
Quand il est arrivé ici, il restait pas à Colebrook, c'était
Livingston.
Dans le Vermont? Dans le Vermont?
non,
Non?
dans les États. Je me souviens pas de sa place-là.
Maine?
I don't remember. I don't think it was Maine. C'était pas dans le Mass?
Non,
Non.
non, on restait ici, toujours par ici. Puis il est venu rester par ici. Puis il avait rencontré sa femme, puis il dit,
Elle travaillait, elle, à quelle place?
travaillait à pas Garde-Malade, ça servait à table.
Ici, à Colebrook?
Ouais,
L'hôtel,
ça servait à table dans Colebrook, puis
the convent, the old convent of the
Yes,
nuns.
Monadnock.
Monadnock. Mary Hebert was waiting on table at the Monadnock.
mais elle venait pas de par ici, elle.
No, she came from Prince Edward Island.
Oh, Mary, I remember.
Henry's wife.
Right.
But Henry had come down and was working with my father.
Were they partners or? No.
I don't think, no, they weren't partners.
No, it's your father's business.
Yeah, it was my father's business.
Yes, I thought it was.
Henry was
Yeah.
always an employee.
Yes, he worked. Yeah.
But that's how Henry met Mary.
Yeah.
She was working at the
At the old Monadnock house.
house.
Yeah.
And they settled over in Leamington, and I don't know of them living anywhere
Or else, but-
and he worked for my father for years,
Yeah.
right up until
Until he got sick.
Yeah.
until he started to get ill.
Yeah. Was it awfully difficult to move down here? I mean, I would think it might be.
Elle demande si t'avais trouvé ça bien difficile de t'en venir par ici. Elle demande si t'as trouvé ça bien difficile t'en venir rester par ici.
Yeah.
She's not hearing too well.
Avez-vous trouvé ça difficile de rester par ici?
Non,
No, it wasn't hard.
Tu parlais pas l'anglais?
non, pas beaucoup. Moi, je faisais comprendre.
She didn't speak English.
J'apportais un catalogue ici, Robert.
What's that, Oriette?
She couldn't understand English. She
Yes.
didn't speak English, but she made herself clear because she used to bring the Sears and Roebuck catalog and she showed in store what she needed.
That's very good. No trouble.
Rien que tu dois pas jouer.
She always find everything she needed
Everything,
when
yeah.
she showed the catalog. And
She'd point and they'd go get it. Yeah. Right. That was good thinking.
Linge
Very
pour
good.
les bébés, n'importe quoi.
for babies, for the house, and
Anything she needed, she could
What a
get.
good idea.
Well, that was.
J'apportais mon catalogue avec moi tout le temps.
she was
Par
always
rapport à
bringing her
mon
catalog.
anglais, pas.
She couldn't say one word in
T'as
English.
juste pour savoir oui puis non.
Just yes and no.
Just yes and no. Yes.
Il y en avait pas beaucoup de Canadiens par ici à ce temps-là, hein?
Non.
There are very few French speaking
Rappelle
families.
pas.
At that
As I
time.
recall,
Les Canadiens
I
qui
think
avaient fait ça.
there was Arthur Booton
Oh, yes.
down on Depot.
And that was about it. Then when did so many French people come down?
Les premiers qu'on
Later.
connus, c'était le barbier Dumont,
The first French that was speaking
Tony
French,
Dumont.
Tony Dumont.
Tony.
Well, I don't know if Tony goes back that at the beginning.
Comment il s'appelle, celui qui travaillait sur le chemin de fer, que vous étiez amis?
Henri,
Vous étiez amis avec un agent de station pour les trains?
I think it was Boutin. Boutin? C'était pas Monsieur Boutin? La bonne femme puis le bonhomme Boutin?
ah ouais,
Il travaillait sur le chemin de fer.
ouais.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Et,
Mr. and Mrs. Boutin, you remember Lena Ribard?
Just a little bit.
yeah,
She married the old man Boutin.
Mhm.
Well, he was working on the railroad, and they moved here, and they were very friendly with
With the Heberts.
the Hebert.
Yes.
Grand-mère
Arthur Boutin.
I can't remember.
Joséphine.
Josephine.
Josephine and Arthur Booton.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, she remembers very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puis, y en avait-tu d'autres familles canadiennes au commencement? Les Lecourt, Ted Lecourt.
That way after.
That was after.
Has she been here?
She probably had been here quite a while.
Well, she's been here 70 years.
Well, as a
She's
child,
been in Colbert 17 years.
Ouais,
as a child, I remember the
il y avait
Lecourts.
Madame
Yeah.
Boutin.
Yeah, when I was little.
Little.
Madame Boutin.
Madame Lecourt.
Colbert.
Lecourt.
Ted Lecourt. Ted Lecourt.
Rose puis Ted Lecourt. Il restait sur la côte, puis il était plombier, lui. Lecourt. Tu te rappelles, le petit bonhomme Lecourt, il était assis, monsieur, tout le temps. Papa l'aimait pas trop.
C'était comment, Madame?
I think Oriette's going to get a piece of paper.
If we write it down.
Ah oui, le cours. Ah oui.
No glasses? No glasses?
I have got to remark upon that. I am simply amazed. Mrs. Hebert has no glasses on.
Pas en même temps que vous,
Ben, il venait de Quatico.
mais pas la même année que vous. Pas la
Non,
même
non.
année.
Isn't that
Il était un peu plus jeune que nous.
Way after them.
Take him,
Lecourt
yeah.
came way after them.
But actually, it was Mr. and Mrs. Hebert then that really were about the first to come to Colbert. So it must have been kind of
That
hard.
was really French.
Yeah, to
probably.
really be French.
I was trying to think back.
70 years ago.
A
that's
little
pretty
church,
That-
up on the hill.
Yes.
And the people we used to go. Oh, there was Bill and Bertha Carr. Madame Carr, le bonhomme Carr,
Yeah,
il était-tu par ici, au commencement?
ouais.
Elle s'appelait Bertha.
Ouais, Berthe
Bill.
Carr.
Madame Newman
Yeah.
était ici,
Ouais.
au commencement.
Ouais.
Newman. Addie and what was his name?
Bill?
Bill.
Madame
Bill.
It
Norman.
was Bill and Bertha Carr, and Addie and Bill Newman.
And they all spoke French.
They were
So, I
all
mean, I
French
think-
families that were
Yes.
here about the
Because
same
I think
time.
of that had to be hard where
Yeah,
you
well, there
didn't,
was a very small,
just a small group
very
of people
small
that
group
spoke
of them.
French.
Yeah.
So that was hard.
Now across the river, there were all the dailies that were, used to come to our church,
But they didn't
weren't
speak French.
They weren't French.
speaking
So
people, no.
really it was quite a small group
It was
of
a small
people
group
at the very
of
beginning
French people
days.
At the
Yeah.
beginning.
Madame Norman, c'est. Elle était à la tante à Bertha.
Oui. Mm-hmm. She was just noting that.
Madame Newman, étais-tu ici quand vous êtes arrivés, vous?
Je pense que oui.
Mrs. Newman was here when she came.
She was
Ouais,
here
je
when
pense
he
que
was
It's
c'est
not.
there.
elle.
It was soon.
So
Because they had been here for a while. Bertha would tell you that.
Well, would you say that so therefore they became quite friendly? These few people, they're almost like family, maybe.
yes.
Where you know.
C'était la tante à Bertha.
Yeah. Danny's wife, Bertha,
Yes.
Addie, and Bill were her aunt and uncle.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, that is a wonderful thing. But I really. I just marvel that she doesn't have to wear glasses.
I know. And
you do.
She didn't have a
Elle trouve ça beau que vous portez pas vos lunettes
she
tout le
could
temps.
communicate well because her mind
Her mind is fine and her eyes are fine. Oh, but now you wear glasses.
Oh, I can't see across
Isabel
the street.
doesn't Isabel?
Sometimes, and Rachel uses them for her work. Oh, I think I'm the only one that wears glasses all the time.
And Danny wears them part time.
No, I've never seen Danny with glasses.
Just as good. Well, aren't you lucky? You know, lucky. Yeah, that is very good.
Yeah.
And
Ouais, je vais avoir 97, là.
Tu l'as eu.
Ouais, je les ai eu à son birthday.
what did she say
and
then?
maybe we should mention that she had a card from Ellery and Bill Clayton.
No kidding.
For her birthday, right from the president and Hillary. Isn't
I haven't seen that.
How do they know? They have it on a computer.
I think her granddaughter, Luann, wrote to the White House and tell them about
and
the
so,
97th birthday.
You're kidding.
And she had her card right on the date.
isn't that
right?
wonderful?
Mm.
That is. That's pretty nice,
Yeah.
huh? Right from the
Yeah.
president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, should I put that right?
I'm gonna frame it.
We're going to have it framed.
Frame it.
I'd frame it.
Oh, I
yeah.
will frame it.
Oh, yeah.
Rather nice.
Wasn't that
We'll buy a little
nice?
frame.
Absolutely. Yeah.
On va la mettre un petit cadre.
C'est ça que
Paula.
par là, vous l'avez fait.
Wonderful.
Well, so then they,
This is pretty.
Yes, I love
Muriel and Orietta are admiring Mrs. Hebert's birthday presents.
yes.
I would say new lamp, and it looks like a new
That's it.
throw.
And Hebert give her the new throw.
Yes,
The colors
And,
are so beautiful.
Danny give her the lamp.
Then-
that is lovely. And it goes so nicely in here.
And she had about, I say 40 birthday cards.
Wow. I guess you
And
were
all
well
kinds of
remembered.
flowers.
I see the flowers. It's like a
And
greenhouse here,
candy
florist here.
and-
Isn't that wonderful?
Well, we had a real party Sunday
Sunday.
afternoon.
Sunday afternoon,
We
you had a
did
real...
it Sunday afternoon instead of the day of her birthday.
Les
Which
petits
was
fleurs de la floriste, ça vient de
Isabel.
ma fille, de plus
This is
vieille
from your
fille.
daughter, Isabel. This,
still in Florida, but she's
Isabelle
Yes.
Bruno.
This is from Nanette,
daughter.
Isabel's
her
daughter.
oldest daughter.
oh
They
my.
live in Pennsylvania.
Well, I would think you were well remembered.
Ah.
I imagine.
Mhm.
I'd say so. Well, I just wanted to say, too, that so Mr. Hebert had his plumbing business, and then
Une
eventually...
madame qui, elle?
She's asking me who you are.
Yes.
C'est Madame Gooch. Madame Gooch.
She may remember Hills. We talked about it.
Son mari avait le magasin Hill. C'est le magasin Hill. I'll write it.
That's a
Here.
Hills.
store. What store?
Le magasin Hill.
Magasin de here.
Oui.
Ah, ouais.
C'est son mari. Son mari.
Did she
C'est
remember
à
it?
son magasin. C'est sa femme, ça.
Ah,
Right.
Well, we got the CH. G-O-O-C-H. Yeah. Well, a lot of people.
Start again,
That's
Orietta.
all right. You're not the first or the last, I'm sure.
gauche.
Yes.
Gooch.
Ça qui est notre mari.
Wait.
Right.
Je connais pas femme.
Oh, she does, but she can't remember. She just doesn't remember.
Well, that's all right. I was going to say, though, so Mr. Hebert came down and he opened up like a plumbing business. And could I say, I would say very successfully.
Yes.
I've always heard that.
Yes.
You know, he did a
Yes.
very good job. He was a good, honest person, and business came good, I would say.
Yeah, he and Henry were good plumbers.
Good plumbers.
Good plumbers. Yeah. Well, we're just having a little interview.
Mrs. Hebert's just had some company come in, and
We're having an interview.
yes, we are. That's all right. So, who have we got? This just come in.
This is Isabel's youngest daughter, Paula.
Yes, okay. This would be
And,
Mrs. Hebert's granddaughter. It's just come in.
And-
Paulette.
She lives here with her
She
grandmother.
makes her home right here.
Yes.
Isn't that
So this someone can
super?
be here with my mother all the time.
Oh, that is wonderful. Just wonderful.
Once in a while, we give her a little time off.
Not too often. I did a little bit of time off, but I'm here with Mimi most of the time. Mainly at nights.
Yes, that's when you're.
That was our biggest problem.
Yes,
so
a big problem.
finding someone.
And they cut me loose every once in a while for a couple hours during the day. Well, yeah, let me
I hope I hope you behave yourself. 2 hours.
Oh, yeah. Well, 11:30 to 1. That's only an hour and a half.
Oh, well.
So,
Yep,
come on,
right.
let's not push
Nope,
it.
nope. So we're just talking with your grandmother, and we're getting about done here. I did want to finish, though, that so then the son Danny went in business.
Mm-hmm. Well, Danny was in the Navy. How long was he in the Navy? It was right after he came out of the Navy, and he worked with my dad.
Right, and then eventually...
My father retired from the plumbing business and built the motel. They moved from the...
I had forgotten
to the
that.
motel.
Yes. You know, you hear this and it comes back. I'd forgotten that. So
Now-
Danny had the plumbing business, and then your
Danny
folks went down there.
And started the motel business.
They planted all those trees and the things.
Yes, yeah.
And,
And it was the grandparents that did that.
Didn't
my father.
Your father.
My father.
Did my father help with that? No.
I don't know, was he?
I think he did.
Here? Still here? Yes, he probably did,
'Cause-
Paula.
Yeah, because I remember John saying they used to help carry the dirt and wheelbarrows.
Well, that's possible, because when my father gave up the motel to my sister,
Your sister Isabel.
Isabel, and her husband, my father had built this home, and this is where they finally retired.
But for a bit, they lived down at the
They
motel.
were down there quite a few years.
Oh, Ori.
one waiting at home.
Oh, I know.
Thanks a lot,
Oriette, I
Oriette.
sure appreciate your help. And
a lot of fun.
I told you it was going to be fun. People get a little nervous sometimes, but it's fun.
Je dois vous voir à 5h30. Okay. See her at 5:30.
Okay, thank you a
Tu
lot,
te
Oriette, for
rappelles-tu
your
comment
help.
longtemps que tu as été à la motel?
Que j'ai resté à
À
la
la
motel.
motel? Comment longtemps, à peu près? Plusieurs années.
À la motel, depuis qu'Isabelle est là. Ben,
Because I can remember my husband, Bud.
This is Buddy Lewis,
Buddy
Mariel's husband.
Let's see, I had
ah ben,
my third child, was a baby at that time, and Buddy was delivering oil during the day and would come home and change his clothes and take a short nap and go and spend the evening. He would do the night shift
Oh,
motel.
at the motel.
And then for a short while he served breakfast. They served just
Yes.
breakfast to the guests in the morning. They did that for a while.
Well, of course, Buddy was a very well-known cook. I mean, anybody that knew Buddy knew that Buddy cooked.
Well, he did do that for a while, and then they gave that up, and I think about the time that Isabel took over,
I see.
and I can't remember. Bud went to the liquor store, worked at the liquor store then. I know he drove the truck 15, 16, 17 years.
There at Lewis.
For his father. Yeah. And then from there he...
Went into
I think he worked for a short while at the motel.
Right,
And then I think he went to the liquor store.
right.
And then he went to Tri-County Legal, and then he ended up at the state job there.
Yes, with the fire company. Of course, Buddy was an ardent fireman. We all know that,
He
too.
was in a little bit of everything.
Yes, he was. Well,
So, tu te rappelles pas comment longtemps que tu as resté à la motel?
J'ai resté dans le motel. Dans la motel.
Did she like it doing the motel?
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
C'est
She
quand
worked awfully hard, but she didn't like it.
après que Paul était arrivé justement.
Now, t'as laissé dans ce temps-là.
Oh, okay.
T'as laissé la motel quand Paul est arrivé.
Ouais.
Mais je me rappelle pas comment longtemps
Que j'ai
que tu as resté à la motel. Je me rappelle pas comment longtemps. We should have all these things written down.
She liked it though.
T'aimais ça? T'aimais ça à la motel? Tu aimais ça? T'aimais ça à la motel?
Ouais. Yes.
Mais tu as travaillé fort.
Ah ouais.
She liked it, but she worked very hard.
It's very hard work.
It was hard work.
Very.
The only thing I can remember her saying is she got very nervous when she had to go to the front desk.
All because
the hearing problem and the communication problem. So whenever my father was around, you know, she was very uneasy about.
She couldn't take the catalog.
No, the catalog didn't work.
No, the catalog
but
didn't.
They met some wonderful people and repeaters. You know, people
right, kept coming back. Yeah,
they made some. They made good friends.
Good friends. Yeah. Well, is Danny still in the business, or how?
Well,
he's
supposed to be retired.
He's sort of in and out, kind of.
You know, he's just in. I guess he is retired, but
he's still involved.
He still haunts the place.
Yeah. Well,
it's kind of hard to stay away, you know.
Well, Hebert Plumbing has been here a good long while.
With young Danny's oldest boy, Corey.
Yes.
It's going into the fourth generation.
It's going into the fourth generation.
Yes, it was my father, my brother, my nephew, and my.
That is a record, yeah. Well, would you tell your mother for me that I think Hebert has treated Colbert pretty well?
Well, I think it's maybe the reverse is true.
Well, yeah.
Elle dit qu'elle pense que Colbert a été une bonne place pour ma famille. Pour notre famille. Elle dit que Colbert a été une bonne place pour notre famille.
Ah, ouais.
Ça fait 4 générations, là.
Yeah.
Well, this has been just delightful to talk to Mrs. Hebert here on her birthday, and she's looking wonderful, and she's got her $1 million cane right there, and
she's enjoyed this.
I would think you'd get a tremendous pleasure out of that cane.
Assez vieux pour avoir la canne.
C'est parce que t'es la plus vieille. La personne. She says you have to be very old.
But that's the only way you can get it. But it's worth it, I guess, huh? Yeah. You can't do anything about that, so you might as well have the cane. Right? Yeah.
You might as well flaunt it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I've enjoyed it, and I certainly thank you for letting me talk to you.
I te remercie. I te remercie.
I'm going to go to the town hall. I have to get a paper down there, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Paula is just leaving, and
she's going to run a little errand.
She's got to do an errand. But there was one little thing. I'm not going to stay, but I wanted to just for point of history. Paula's mother and father ran a shoe store on Main Street.
They also had the shoe store on Main Street
back
at the time that
yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Paul's shoe store.
Yes, Paul's shoe store, and of course it's no longer there. It's just a part of the parking lot at Farmers and Traders. I still call it Farmers and Traders, but so it no longer is shown in the maps. But just for posterity, we'll say that we're talking to Paula, whose dad had a shoe store.
Do you remember how many years your mother had the shoe store?
Oh boy. Well, it was before I was in kindergarten, and I remember when Dad passed away, I was 6.
You were 6 when your father died.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew you were very little.
She was a baby.
And she was still running it then because I remember she was flying back and forth from the motel to the shoe store, and she would have my older brother in, was it Solange or who babysat us? Was it Solange or?
Well, that's
One of the ladies would babysit us at the motel when Mom would run down to the shoe store.
It might have been.
What they call that business? Paul's?
Paul's shoe store.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it
Paul's
was
is the
Paul's
name
shoe
of it.
store.
Well, then after that went out, didn't something else go in there?
I think there was another.
Did the Florence?
You remember the little candy store that? Oh God, who owned it? Right next door to the shoe store. Didn't they reopen a store in there?
There was something in there, I know, Paula, but I can't. I
don't remember.
I couldn't tell you.
My mother would know, though.
Yeah.
My mother would know.
Yeah.
What went in there?
Well, I don't know. When I go home, I'm going to look in Gifford's book. He has gone back a lot.
That's true. You could find it there, probably.
He's taken different decades to show what, because Main Street changes a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Stores come and go.
Does.
Yeah. But,
because I remember they still had it there when Dad passed away, because I was going to kindergarten at the church in the brick building underneath. She tried to get me to go to kindergarten.
Was it Ginny Berry? Did Ginny Berry have it back then, or was no? I guess that.
I think she did.
Must have been Ginny.
I think it was Ginny.
And Esther did it after.
Esther was before.
Was before Ginny.
She sold the shoe store, and then I remember her selling the cabins at the motel. We had all those cabins there.
That's the Northern Comfort she's talking about. Yeah.
Sold those.
Well, where the shoe store was, wasn't that originally George Cummings' clothing?
I think so.
I think
so. All I know, I took all the candy out of all the Hush Puppy shoes. That's all I know.
Oh, is that?
As Mom was getting the Hush Puppy shoes in, they used to come with a little candy in them. I'd take all the candy. My mother would sell a pair of shoes, and all the candy would be gone out of them.
Oh, that's a riot.
That's all I remember.
Oh, that is a riot.
I think that was George
Cummings. I think it was too. And then I think the shoe store went in, and I think something else was there. And
after.
Yeah, I think so. But I could be wrong. I don't know. Yeah. Well, very good. Well, it's been fun. You said next door here. Was that the Ramsey house? Did I hear you say that?
That was the Ramsey
Sherburn?
house.
Is that Sherburn?
No, Louis.
Louis Ramsey's house.
Louis Ramsey's house. And I was born in the house I'm living in now.
You were born there because your folks moved from up over the...
My folks were living here at the Ramsey house.
Yes.
When the shop got built, there was no apartment up over it.
Yes.
We lived here at the Ramsey house. And then when my father built the apartment up over the plumbing shop...
Yes.
That's when we moved down there.
You moved down there.
And I can remember Avery Keenan. He was an insurance man. Lived in the Louis Ramsey house for a while. And there, I think... She's saying that I was born in the Ramsey house.
Yeah. Just...
I think Carrie and Mary Marsh lived in that house at one time. My house.
Yeah.
And my father bought that house from the Ramseys when Bud and I got married.
Right. And then you went in there?
And then when we first got married, my father had raised a dormouse on one side of the house and made an apartment upstairs.
Yes.
And we lived there. And at the time that I lived there upstairs, and we lived the first 5 years we were married, we lived up in the new apartment. And Camilla and Gilbert Center lived in the big apartment on the left-hand side of the house. And the Ramseys lived in where I am now.
Right. Well, didn't my great-aunt Matt French live there once?
Who's that?
Matt French, the librarian. Was that the house she was in for a little while?
I don't remember. It's very possible, like I say.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of vague about it, too, so she was up here somewhere.
I know that from the time that I was married, the Centers lived they lived there, I think, something like 17, 18 years.
Yeah, good long while.
Yeah.
Good long while.
Because all the time that I was raising my children, the Centers lived there. And I moved. The Maxwells arrived when, let's see, my youngest child is going to be 27, and he was 3. So they've been here about 24.
They've lived there a good long
24,
while.
25 years.
Yeah. Isn't that something? Yeah. Well, again, it's been very, very pleasant, and I click this off, and we'll call it a day. You've been wonderful to interview. I just so pretty, isn't she pretty?
She is pretty.
Yeah.